I don't want to set the world on fire.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Table Swap. My name is Metal Mike, and I'm joined here, as always, with the man with the best beer in the business. He is the host of The Boom every Wednesday night after AEW Dynamite. My co-host here every Monday night for the Table Spot, Mr. Cam G. Cam, how you doing on this wonderful Monday evening?
It's had to be the slowest Monday, I think, I've ever had to sit through for a Monday Night Raw.
Bro, you are not kidding.
Wow. That moved like a turtle. That was insane to me. So
I even texted that to you. I was like, dude, like, this was my first Monday Night Raw back in 3 weeks because I haven't had Netflix. Okay. Personal life stuff happening. Didn't have the money to pay for the Netflix. Haven't had Netflix. Got it back today. Went out, got a gift card. Got it back today. I'm all excited. Going to get to watch Raw for the first time in 3 weeks. And literally, after that first hour, I texted you and I was like, this show is moving so fucking slow. What is going on? What's up, Will? Thank you for joining us tonight here on the Table Spot. Appreciate you stopping in. But yeah, it just moved so fucking slow. Like I'm sitting here watching the Phillies game while watching Raw, then watching the Chiefs Jaguars while watching Raw. And it's like the baseball game felt like it moved faster in their 2 hours than Raw did tonight. How?
that's saying a lot.
Baseball. Yes,
Yeah.
baseball. A game that first pitch happened at 6:08 p.m. Eastern time, finished about a half hour after Raw went on the air. And it felt like it moved faster. Insane. Before we get into everything, I want to remind everybody to head over to Rivet City Radio and Off the Top Media's Twitch and YouTube channels. Hit that follow button. Hit that subscribe button if you'd like to. And keep checking out all the content going on throughout the networks throughout the week. As I said, we are here on Monday nights. We got the Boom on Wednesday nights after AEW Dynamite, hosted by Cam. Got a little bit of a change this week. Title Tuesday happening tomorrow night for AEW Dynamite. So just stay tuned for when the decision is made when we're doing the Boom, either tomorrow night or Wednesday night, correct?
Yes.
One of the two.
One of the two.
We'll figure it out. We'll definitely figure it out. But let's get into Monday Night Raw from Dallas, Texas, the Big D. I don't even have my Raw banner here. What the fuck? Really? You're kidding me. I'm fucking up, Cam. I'm fucking up tonight. This is ridiculous. All right, Raw from Dallas, Texas tonight. We watch every Monday. I know. Just so much going on right now. I'm able to do things in the middle of commercials and everything and walk away. And I feel like I'd be rude if I walked away while watching Raw with people. That's, I have so much going on personally, and it's just, yeah. So, but Raw was in the Big D tonight, Dallas, Texas. And Cam, as I always ask you, what would you grade tonight's Monday Night Raw, being that it's the go-home show to Crown Jewel?
I'm giving Raw tonight a D-. It was not much of a show, really. I personally feel like go-home shows are dead because they no longer realistically build these shows before PLEs to realistically focus on the PLE.
Yeah,
I feel like they more so use the more obscure talent that they haven't really done a whole lot with, or talent that's not even on the card for the coming Saturday, and they use these kinds of shows to really like use the hype for going into the PLE and use that spotlight to spotlight those talent on these kinds of shows.
Yeah.
So other than that, I mean, they really didn't provide us with anything new. The main event was finally a tad bit different. You know, the Bronze weren't in the main event for the first time in probably 9 weeks in a row. So that was different. So there's some things I liked about the show, but a lot of it really didn't provide us with anything new in terms of progression. And I mean, it was completely absent of anything hyping us for, you know, Perth this Saturday. So
I'm going to change the title of this show before it becomes a big issue. There, Raw in Dallas. There we go. I changed it. Yeah. There we go. Anyway, I you know what? I hear you. I have to give it a D. It didn't feel like they made any type of progress for Saturday morning. It didn't. Like, we knew, I mean, Cam, me and you talked about it weeks ago that we knew that we were getting Io and Rhea against the Kabuki Warriors. That happened. We're getting AJ and John Cena, which AJ Styles wasn't wrong tonight. They don't need a build. That match speaks for itself. They don't need a story. They don't. When you get down to the Crown Jewel matches, do those matches really matter? Like, no. I get the fact that if you're doing Crown Jewel, okay. So here's the thing: is they have their deal with Saudi Arabia, and everything they're doing with Riyadh season, everything like that. That's understandable. So if you're going to hold matches like the Crown Jewel Championship matches that are specifically based to happen for that event in, let's say, where you have a partner in Saudi Arabia, that makes sense. But this event is not in Saudi. It's in Perth, Australia. You know what I mean? It's almost like that championship, that Crown Jewel Championship is almost made. It's almost like saying NXT UK. Okay. The NXT UK, they had their own championships, all that stuff. So the Crown Jewel Championship, basically you would think of it as that's made for when they go to, let's say, Saudi Arabia. But no, it's made just for the event of Crown Jewel. So it's, I don't know. It's those matches, having no championships on the line whatsoever for this event. It's almost like another glorified house show with giving titles of matches like a Crown Jewel Championship match for the men and women champions. But then we get down to Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed, an Australian street fight. Cam, you know how I feel about these off-named matches. We have to have a special fucking name for a match because they're in a location.
I don't know why.
Donnybrook match, all that stuff. Why? What's the point? Why can't you just call it a no holds barred? Why can't you just call it no disqualification? Falls count anywhere. No, we got to give it a name. And that's what I'm saying, Will, is the Crown Jewel title. When's the last time we've seen Crown Jewel anywhere else but Riyadh? Have we had Crown Jewel anywhere else besides Riyadh? I think we had it in Perth, Australia once. I believe we did. No,
that was the last time we were in Perth was called something else. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah. So this is the first time we've had Crown Jewel outside of Saudi.
Outside of Saudi.
Elimination Chamber. That's what it was in Perth.
We had Elimination Chamber, but we had another one. It wasn't Crown Jewel. It was what was the other one they do overseas in Saudi? Not Crown Jewel. What's the other one? What's the other one? You know what I'm talking about. It's right at the tip of my tongue. Yeah.
I can't remember.
God, Super Showdown. There we go. Thanks, Ty. Super Showdown. There it is. Super Showdown was the one that happened in Perth, Australia. So the bottom line is you're not going to have any championship matches at this event. You're basically giving us another glorified house show. What, you're considering the Crown Jewel titles for Crown Jewel, that specific event. That's it.
It's not even recognized as an actual title.
It's not. It's not. You're not wrong on that.
Special event championship.
You're not wrong on that. Just
is.
Like Braun Strowman's the longest, greatest Royal Rumble champion because that title never got put on the line again.
I forgot about that title too. You just brought it up. Jesus Christ.
Right? That's how they were now. Oh, it's only the second time that the Crown Jewel titles have been on. Yeah, because they did it last year.
That's fair.
It is. Is it something they're going to continue?
Probably.
Maybe. To make it special for that event. Because the last one, who was in the last one? Who was the last Crown Jewel Championship match?
It was
Cody
and
Cody and who?
No, it is. Cody and
Cody and Gunther.
there you go.
Okay. And is this the first time? This is the second time they're doing it for the women, right? Or is this the first time?
Yeah, this is the second time doing it for the women too. Because the
Okay.
first one was like Liv and somebody.
Okay.
I want to say it was Liv and Nia, but I could be wrong.
The only titles on the line are just special event titles. I don't get it.
It's not a real Australian street fight if there's no kangaroo run-ins. That's hilarious.
That would be awesome if a kangaroo just came in and
That's too funny.
got involved into the match. This is the second year for both. Okay. I missed the last Crown Jewel. I did. I missed it.
You didn't miss much. I mean,
I
it
know
was,
I
it was
know I
okay, but it's
I know I
not
didn't.
memorable.
I know I didn't. And I'll say this right now. This show starts at 8 a.m. on Saturday.
8 a.m. It's crazy.
8 a.m. 8 a.m. The determination on whether I'm going to get up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning to watch a PLE that's going to possibly. I mean, the matches on the card aren't bad. It doesn't look bad, but it's just the fact of what is it going to do for us moving forward with these matches, storyline wise. Absolutely nothing. 2 Crown Jewel title matches where they're both champions are going to go their separate ways, obviously. An Australian street fight, which we're getting Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns yet again. We've seen what happened last time. John Cena, AJ Styles. I mean, I could see John Cena and AJ Styles or Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and the Kabuki Warriors stealing the show. We'll talk about the show a little later. Let's get into Raw. Roman Reigns started off the show tonight, got very quickly interrupted by Bronson Reed. They didn't waste no time in this segment, Cam. The challenge was put out there for the Australian street fight between Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed. Roman quickly accepted it. There was no back and forth, really. They ended up brawling, and that was the end of the segment. Not a big segment at all with this. This was basically go in, get your shit done, and get out type of segment. What's your feeling and what's your thoughts on this segment?
I mean, it's literally cut, copy, and paste what we did a couple of weeks ago with this exact same segment. I mean, they were standing in the exact same positions they were when we first did this. So it felt like I was having a case of deja vu. It's the same thing every week. So this was realistically no different. We're getting another match between Roman and Bronson Reed, which I'm okay with. I mean, the first match they had, again, was it a 5-star banger? No. Was it okay for what they could provide? Sure. So I mean, I don't mind them, having another match. I'm sure it'll be fine. But now you're throwing a stipulation on it, and you could have did better there. I mean, now you're having an Australian street fight, which is literally no different than tribal combat or extreme rules or no holds barred. It's nothing different. You're just slapping the place that you're going to have to host this event in front of the name street fight. That's it.
Yeah.
It's just like it's ridiculous. I'm not quite sure what the end goal here is, but I hope it'll be a lot better than what it sounds like. So I don't know, but overall, I mean, this opening segment really didn't provide me with anything new that they haven't already done.
25, 30 years ago when I was a kid, let's say 30 years, because I would have been 9 years old at the time, an Australian street fight, that would have sounded cool, right? And as you get older and you get into adulthood and you understand, what wrestling is all about and what wrestling is, it's like you start seeing that, there's no difference whether you slap a name on a match or not. And you're right. This is basically the same type of promo we got weeks ago to put these two in the ring, but now we're changing the stipulation. Does this help Bronson? I think this match helps Bronson Reed more than anything because it gives him that spotlight. It gives him the opportunity to get into the ring with a former world champion who holds the record right now, for being the longest reigning champion, mind you. You know, it's a good spotlight for Bronson Reed. The problem is you're having Roman Reigns on this part-time type of schedule, right? And you think of the timing of that schedule. What Bronson Reed did weeks ago at that PLE and taking out Roman Reigns, it was like, okay, Roman can go away for a while. Maybe he'll come back for Survivor Series. No, he was back, 3 weeks later? A month? If that? You know, and the other thing is, too, is what doesn't help him, again, and I'm saying this, I'm going to tread very carefully when I say this. You have him in a group who also has two stars. One is a top superstar in Seth Rollins, or people consider a top superstar in Seth Rollins, and a rising star in Braun Breaker, who is basically a star. Two guys that can have spotlights put on them and put in great positions while being on their own. Instead, they're in a group. So what can they do differently to help Bronson Reed other than just having him win this match? What can they do? What would you expect them to do with him?
I don't know if there's anything you can do. I mean, to your point, I mean, the main thing they've been doing, and I guess that's their strength realistically. And that's just to make him look strong, make him look like a monster, which is not hard to do.
Have they not accomplished that already though?
Yeah, but again, what else do you do? I mean, that's the bottom line. It's just I don't really see how much further you really go with it. Like I said, the group is realistically more so benefiting Braun Breaker because they're making Braun Breaker look great. Bronson Reed, it's like kind of like what's left. He's getting whatever's left over. You know, I just don't know what else you do with Bronson Reed.
If we were to have Omos come back and help Bronson Reed, my God. Man, I'm sorry to say, I think that would hurt Bronson Reed more than help Bronson Reed. The thing is you had him dominate Roman weeks ago, and now we're back into that same position. It's almost like rinse and repeat. Are they going to have Bronson win this match? I think they have.
Yeah, I doubt it.
I think they have Roman win this match. I do. I don't see any point of having Bronson. It's like you had him go out and beat Roman Reigns weeks ago. You did absolutely nothing to advance him. So you bring Roman back sooner than what was expected, and we're right back in the same position. You don't have him go out and beat Roman Reigns again. There's no point. None whatsoever. So later on in the night, though, we had Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman. We're going to stick with the Vision for a second since we're talking about them. Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman were backstage, and Seth was basically asking, what if I lose to Cody Rhodes? I'm down 3-0 in the series against him. I haven't been able to beat him. What if I lose to him? And Paul Heyman just kept trying to say different things, but he kind of tried to dodge the question. And Seth wasn't having it. And Seth got a little physical towards Paul because he was getting pissed. And Paul said, if you lose, I have to ask why I picked you over Roman Reigns. And Paul Heyman had a specific look on his face like, is Paul Heyman really with Seth Rollins, or is he just with Seth Rollins? That's the question for you, Cam, as a fan. What did you see? And do you see Paul Heyman just being with Seth Rollins, or is he actually with Seth Rollins?
I think that's the big question. I know I've seen some creators in this space have said that this partnership is on borrowed time. I could see that. Again, never trust Paul Heyman, even when it looks like he's gotten comfortable with a new client of his own. Someone new to manage, whatever he calls himself, the wise man, the oracle, the agent, whatever. So yeah, never trust Paul Heyman. I mean, that's just as bad as trusting, I think, a McMahon. So that's one thing I think we all have to keep in mind here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this partnership ends a little sooner than what we think. Maybe not. I don't know. I think that's the great thing about where they're going with this right now. I personally liked this backstage segment with Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman because, like I said, it's having that rift in Paul Heyman is not just so much gassing up Seth Rollins like he would a Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns, telling him, they're almighty and they're unbeatable and they're glorious. He's actually being real with, somebody that he's actually managing right now and saying, hey, this is the fallout. If you want the real answer, if you lose, this is what you're facing. This is what you could be looking at. And it's going to hurt, my career too. It's going to hurt my credibility as well as being Paul Heyman being your oracle. So I like it. I definitely like where they're going with just overall Seth and Cody. Them two definitely have just the big match feel. Again, like I said, the only thing I just realistically don't care about is the Crown Jewel Championship because it really doesn't mean a whole lot. But other than that, there's so much history here between these two, and I'm liking it right now. Honestly, it really makes you feel like this is it for Seth Rollins. This is make or break for his just overall just legacy right now, or what he's trying to build, trying to prove that he is QB1 of the WWE right now. So I like it.
It's like Paul Heyman if Paul Heyman were to ask Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, or if Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns were to ask Paul Heyman, what if I lose? And Paul gave them the answer he was trying to give Seth, they would have just accepted that. Seth was not accepting that.
Yeah.
Like Seth was kind of like, no, I need you to tell me what my future looks like if I were to lose to Cody Rhodes, because I haven't been able to beat him yet at all. Has not happened. And I went out and I stuck my neck out for him and helped him beat Roman Reigns. And then he turns around not even 6 months later, tags up with the guy. And now I'm in the middle of this situation, not only with Roman Reigns, but with LA Knight, CM Punk, Jey Uso. It's like Seth Rollins has a lot on his plate. And this is a small detour of him trying to take care of what he needs to take care of as the World Heavyweight Champion on taking on Cody Rhodes. It's almost like he wants to get past this small detour in victory. That way he can move forward and take care of the rest of the business he needs to. And Paul said something very significant of, if you don't beat Cody, not only I would have a hard time believing in what you're trying to do moving forward, but Bronson and Braun are going to have a hard time. And it's not only them you're going to lose this locker room. You're the world champion. You run this place. And if you lose to Cody, who runs the SmackDown locker room, basically, that's it. Don't expect anybody to have your back, and you'll be lucky if I stick around to have your back. That's basically what he's saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll say this. I would love to see Cody beat Seth. You know why?
Why?
Because I would like to see Seth have that challenge ahead of him to have absolutely nobody. It's been a long time since we've seen an actual babyface Seth Rollins. And I'm talking Seth Rollins with the old Burn It Down music coming out, fan favorite, all that stuff. Seth Rollins can very easily become a babyface in this situation. And the reason why I'm saying this, Cam, is because me and you talked about this off air about Jey Uso, LA Knight, and CM Punk. And we're going to talk about this segment. This is a great segue for this. They had a segment in the middle of the ring, and they're all talking about who's next for the World Heavyweight Championship, right? And you had posed the question to me, who's the heel in this situation? Because there are so many baby faces right now. And I had said to you, Jey Uso. Jey Uso seems to be for me as a fan, the easier path of a heel, because everybody loves CM Punk. It's going to be hard to hate LA Knight. Jey Uso right now, the way he's acting and what people are calling him, baby Roman and all that stuff, it seems like Jey could be the heel. Now, you said CM Punk, right? If Seth loses to Cody and he overcomes all that adversity, everybody against him, all that stuff, and he becomes a babyface for it, that would be a good situation to turn CM Punk heel. because we talked about, CM Punk turning heel a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He would have to go away from Seth, because Seth being a
Yeah, he
heel,
would.
you can't do Seth and CM Punk as heels. He would have to go away. This is the way CM Punk would work as a heel, I think. But if you want to talk about these three in this segment, your thoughts on it, if you have any. But what was your vision of CM Punk becoming a heel, if anything?
I mean, right, I think right now it's kind of fleeting them, because I feel like they might have had a small window to be able to do it, so they realistically have to tread very lightly with how they do it. I can honestly see them running back a fatal 4-way with Seth, LA Knight, Jey Uso, CM Punk, for the World Championship one more time. You could have Jey win that match, have Punk act like, he's happy for him and all this and whatnot have you, and then just drop him with a GTS. That's how I would do it, honestly. And then him and Seth are done. You don't need to have him and Seth again after that, because because the whole goal right now is with, everybody's trying to get their championship off of CM Punk. Everybody's gunning for CM Punk. He's got, or not CM Punk, Seth Rollins. He's got the world title. He's got that target on his back. So once that title's gone, I mean, he can go off and I guess he's back on the chase again, but I would love to see the focus be, CM Punk potentially turning heel. I think he's a better heel anyways, realistically. The fact that he's been babyface this long is quite surprising to me. And I think it'd just be effortless. I mean, there's already countless amount of people that just genuinely don't like CM Punk. So the transition from him being face to heel is going to be seamless. So I mean, realistically, that's how I would sort of kind of do it. I like this segment. I realistically did. LA Knight is realistically trying to prove, that he's deserving of a world championship. It sort of doesn't really make a lot of sense, just because, he was saying, like, he's technically never been pinned, but in a multi-man match, even if you're not pinned, you're still the loser in that
Losing
match.
end, yeah.
So I mean, like that aspect, I think, didn't really make a whole lot of sense that he was trying to get at. I mean, you still lost. You weren't pinned. You weren't involved in the finish, but you still lost. And like I said, and I wouldn't be opposed to him having a short run with the championship. He could turn heel on LA Knight. LA Knight right now is red hot. So either on Jey or on LA Knight. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Jey, just because Jey is like, he's ever since going solo, he's been kind of like the chosen one on Monday Night Raw. He's mega popular. He's the most popular babyface right now. So I would go with the most popular babyface over maybe the second or third popular babyface. I think it would just work out a lot better.
Yeah.
But overall, I like the segment. I just don't realistically know where we're going. I don't know where Jimmy fits into this at all. I mean, right now it almost feels like Roman is kind of like the wild card, and he's kind of almost like, I don't know, the devil on the shoulder of Jey, like trying to get him to be more tribal chief like, and it's driving a wedge between the Usos. So who knows? Maybe Jimmy just gets fed up with that and goes, on a mid card title chase of his own. I don't know, to maybe prove himself that he's on the same level as Jey. If he were to win the Intercontinental Championship, I'm not sure. So it's kind of a mess in that regard there on the bloodline sort of things. But overall, I mean, this is a good segment, and I like where it's going in terms of CM Punk, Jey, and LA Knight.
I had said months ago that I feel like once Roman would make his comeback and we start seeing Roman Reigns a lot more, that we would get a rebuild of the bloodline and everybody falls in line with Roman Reigns. Part of me feels like this is the beginning of it. Like you said, Roman is kind of that little devil on the shoulder of Jey. What was Roman when the bloodline first started? That little devil on Jey's shoulder.
Fair.
Took him a while to get Jey Uso to fall in line. And Jimmy followed. It's the start of the bloodline all over again. I'm not saying I'm right. It's just coincidental that that's how things kind of started.
Yeah.
So it gives me that feeling that this could be the start of the second coming of the bloodline. Now, whether they're baby faces or heels, that's yet to be known.
Yeah.
I mean, could Roman Reigns go on an initial babyface run to become a world champion, I think it's a little more believable of him being a heel. And that's just my opinion. Cool Whip and chocolate chip.
I like it.
That's a good one tonight.
It's a good one.
That is.
I like that one.
You know, starting in 2026, Cam, here's the thing is I'm a very notebook, keep things in notebook worthy type of thing. I'm going to go out and get a notebook, and the beginning of 2026, I'm going to have a specific notebook. Actually, I have one here. Just to keep Virgo's names. And then at the end of 2026, we are going to vote. We're going to vote on which one's the best.
The best names.
I mean, we could technically do this now and just vote at the end of 2025. We could start with tonight, and then when we do the Table Spot Awards in December, we'll put Virgo as a category and her names.
Nice.
Best Virgo name.
I like it.
Yeah. Best Virgo name for us on, and we'll include what she calls us on Wednesday nights as well. And she came in Sunday morning for the Huddle Hub.
She did.
We'll include that as well.
Yeah.
That's what we'll do. So Virgo, you have earned your own award on the Table Spot Awards this year.
I like it.
And we are going to keep track of all the names you come up with, and we will vote. Me and Cam will vote on which one we like the most. This is your notebook. This is it. This is very empty. It's very clean. Here it is. So I gotta write this one down. I'll write it down quick, and then later on I'll make it a little nicer. So Cool Whip and chocolate chip is the first one. And yeah. There we go. All right. First one's written down. I'll make it nicer later, and we will we're going to give Virgo her very own Huddle Hub award this year. Or a Huddle Hub. Oh my gosh. Her very own Table Spot award this year. There we go. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Roman Reigns and the Usos. Again, I feel like this is the start of the second coming of the Bloodline. Who knows? We'll see. But it's just a little coincidental that this is how the first time it did start, because we've seen Roman in not one but two segments tonight with the Usos backstage. And I think this is the most we've seen Roman on TV in one episode of Raw in a long time, or on TV at all. Because we don't see him much.
No.
We don't. So let's get into the deal with the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka, Io, Kairi, Rhea. No Rhea Ripley tonight. That was a little surprising. No Rhea Ripley tonight.
Yeah, she's in Perth doing press.
Doing some media stuff and everything. That's what I was going to say. I figured she was doing some press for the show on Saturday. But Adam Pearce was backstage with Asuka. And Asuka was trying to get a match for Kairi Sane to take on Io Sky tonight. And Adam Pearce was like, I'll look into it. I'll think about it. We'll do this, yada, yada, yada. And Asuka was just pressing for it to happen. And Adam Pearce walks away and just says to himself, I need a drink. Now, the commentator said later on in the night that they're concerned about Adam Pearce's health as of late. You know what? I am too. I am too. I hope Adam's okay. But Asuka did slap Kairi Sane because Kairi Sane said that she still looks at Io as family. Yeah. Like, this is family. We also found out that the tag match was made for Perth, Australia on Saturday with Rhea Ripley included, tagging up with Io Sky. And then later on the night, we end up getting the Kairi Sane, Kairi Sane and Io match. And Kairi Sane ends up getting the win thanks to Asuka helping Kairi with the pin. And then they end up post-match attacking and taking out Io Sky. Kairi Sane hits the insane elbow on Io Sky. So, Cam, what's your thoughts on this situation? And if you have any thoughts on the match?
First of all, like I said, I've been probably the number one fan of this ongoing feud for the last couple of weeks. A very slow burn, finally getting the match for Perth. I'm excited for it. I honestly think that could be the match that's still the entire show, to be completely honest. And I wouldn't mind if they do a combination of singles matches afterwards. See, this I wouldn't mind them doing a bit of a rinse and repeat thing, just because it's been one of the better storylines on Raw the last couple of weeks. So I wouldn't mind it. Like I said, it's been really, really good. The whole thing with Asuka and Kairi Sane, like, again, Kairi is just in, like, she's being pulled in so many different directions. So she is realistically in just turmoil right now against her better judgment, still considering Io Sky, family, but still being basically forced against her will, by Asuka to basically do her bidding, do her dirty work. So I love that. I like that. I like how they ended it last week with the attack and the mist and everything. It was great. This definitely has taken over the spotlight for Monday Night Raw in that women's division. So I'm loving everything they're doing right now. They haven't had a misstep yet. They realistically haven't. The match itself tonight with Io Sky and Kairi Sane, nothing short of an absolute banger. That was a great match, back and forth right there. You realistically didn't know who was going to win. And like I said, even the assisted pin to give Kairi the win, and then after that, to rub salt in the wound, even after they got the victory, they still attack Io Sky, knowing that Rhea Ripley's not there and she's in Perth. Again, it's just masterful heel work, and I don't even think Asuka is necessarily at 100% heel yet. I think she's still maybe at like 50%, because I can easily see it's still building up. She's not at her full potential right now as a heel. I easily see there being a breakdown between Kairi and Asuka, because Kairi is eventually just going to get sick of Asuka shit and then just honestly turn on Asuka, and then I think that's when Asuka really. I mean, if you think she's off her rocker now, I think she's just absolutely going to lose her mind once that happens, and then I think you're going to get the finalized version of a full-fledged heel Asuka. So it's amazing right now. That match, I have a lot of high praise. I'm looking forward to in Perth. So. Like I said, everything they're doing right now is just great stuff. I look forward to it every Monday Night Raw, honestly.
I totally agree with you. I see at some point Kairi Sane sticking up for herself and going after Asuka, and that's going to have Asuka really just go off her rocker, like you said, and just explode, and that's it. Then we'll get a full-fledged heel Asuka. What I would like to see is like an evolution of Asuka becoming that full-on heel. Whether it's in her gear or in her entrance or even just simply as her face paint. You've pointed out her face paint to me many times these past couple weeks on Monday Night Raw. Her face paint is insanely awesome looking. It is. I would love to see her like get to the point where she has the design and then has some type of like the rest of her face getting painted with some type of background, like a full art deal going on, almost like Jeff Hardy-esque. You know what I mean? Yeah. Something like that. And it's something simple as that can make her stand out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like just when you thought Asuka was ... there she is. So we'll definitely have to see what happens with this come Saturday in the tag match between Io and Rhea against the Kabuki Warriors. Let's stick in the women's division. Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Their storyline has evolved to the fact where they seem to be somewhat on the same page. Lyra took on Roxanne Perez tonight, and Roxanne ended up picking up the win due to the fact that Raquel ended up getting involved. Lyra and Bayley didn't stand for this because we get to a backstage segment, and this backstage segment that was happening between trying to think where this was. Well, backstage. Oh, it was the AJ Styles and JD McDonough and the Judgment Day and everything. During their segment, gets interrupted with Bayley and Lyra attacking Raquel. Completely took her out. It's almost like Bayley, who is having this. I don't even want to call it an identity crisis. She just has something going on to where she can flip a switch and go from nice to vicious.
Yeah,
and everything she's doing, it's kind of rubbing off on Lyra.
Yeah.
It's like Bayley saying, look, you can be successful, but you need to get aggressive here. And this is the aggressive side we've seen. So, Cam, if you have any thoughts on the match and the thoughts on the backstage attack after the match.
The match was okay. I don't really have too many thoughts on that. But the backstage segment, though, that surprised me. I definitely did. I mean, that's a heel move right there. You don't really see baby faces going after the heels and attacking them after the match had already happened. So this is definitely taking a turn that I didn't see coming. To your point, maybe Bailey does start to rub off on Lyra, and Lyra just becomes just as crazy as Bailey is right now, and she's able to flip that switch as well. And we just have just another unhinged tag team with Bailey and Lyra. Maybe that's the move, because that's the complete opposite of where I thought this was going. So I mean, who knows? But like I'm liking that, because it's giving both of them more of an edge. And like I said, it's teetering on being heels without actually a full heel turn. So it's an interesting turn. I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, I was highly surprised that we got Lyra doing a backstage attack. Like, that's something that you don't see come from her.
No.
Like, if she loses a match in any which way or form, it's almost like she accepts it and moves on. And now she's like, I can't accept this. And Bailey seems to be the instigator of that.
Yes.
And I'll say this, Cam, you know me, I'm not the biggest fan of Lyra Valkyria. But if this is what we are going to get from her, she's going to earn my fandom very quickly. Very quickly. Because we need to see some aggressiveness from her. It's almost like months ago we thought we were going to get a heel turn from her, and we never got it.
Yeah.
There was the tease, and we never got it. Now it's like, okay, we may not have to get a turn from her, but we can get an aggressive side of her. And I'm all for it. So AJ Styles, like I said, had a backstage segment with the Judgment Day. They were talking about matches and championships going after whatever. And the Judgment Day pretty much said, hey, look, we're challenging you to a 6-man tag match tonight. Find yourself 2 partners. Shouldn't be much of a problem for AJ Styles due to the fact that he's been kind of teaming up with Dragon Lee the past couple weeks. They've been kind of glued together in a small sense, and it wasn't hard to go up to Penta and say, hey, Judgment Day, Dom, you want to take him on? Sure, let's do it. And they end up in a 6-man tag and end up picking up the win over the Judgment Day. So if you have anything on this situation and the match, the floor is yours.
Well, it was a nice, a fun little 6-man tag match, I think. You're still keeping Dragon Lee in the limelight. I still don't believe they have anything realistically big planned for him, but they are keeping him around and keeping him on TV. So that's something versus nothing, I guess. And they're keeping him around big stars. I mean, they're keeping around somebody who they've taken pretty good care of in his short time in WWE, and that's Penta. And then of course AJ Styles, and I have yet to see them realistically wrong AJ when it comes to booking in his entire time in the WWE. So they've taken good care of him as well. So that's good company to keep around. So maybe there are some things maybe down the line. Maybe this is still the testing phase for Dragon Lee. So this is a good spot for Dragon Lee. So I'm happy to see him on TV and then finally getting him some reps just on Monday Night Raw. So that's good there. Overall, this was a good match. I was thinking about this too, since we're not really doing relatively anything with the tag team titles. I wouldn't mind seeing a short tag team be formed with Penta and Dragon Lee. Go after the tag team titles. I don't see why not. Like I said, they're realistically right now, there's no signs of Rey Fenix going to Raw and teaming up with his brother. So I mean, for me, I would say the next best thing is to have Dragon Lee team up with Penta. I don't see why not. There's not really anybody right now gunning for JD and Finn Balor for those tag team titles, and there hasn't been for weeks now. So those titles are on ice. I would say they're just not being, they're not moving, they're not being spotlighted, they're not being defended, they're not on PLEs, they're just not moving, they're just frozen right now. So you got to do something, because that's just diminishing the value, I think, of those tag team titles. But outside of that, though, like I said, this is a fun 6-man tag team match. I think we move forward here. I don't know. Again, I don't know what we do with Penta. I don't know what we do with Dragon Lee. AJ Styles, like I said, he's got a big match coming up at Perth with John Cena. I have high hopes for that as well. So, but yeah, not a bad 6-man tag match.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Penta and Dragon Lee, or even AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, have a short tag team title reign. I mean, why not? We've seen AJ Styles be tagged up with odd partners before. I mean, I wouldn't call Dragon Lee an odd partner, but we've seen AJ tag up with Omos. and win the tag titles.
And that
You
was an
know,
odd tag team.
it was an odd tag team. It was. You know, so it wouldn't be out of the realm of believability to have AJ Styles team up with Dragon Lee and win the tag titles. Why not? You know, again, I'm one that's not for two singles guys being tag team partners or let alone tag team champions. But would this be accepting? Yes. Why? Because I said it a couple weeks ago that I felt like they were trying to give Dragon Lee some type of boost with being on TV as much as he is. And whether it's a mid-card title or the tag team titles, that's an advancement of what he's been doing these past couple weeks on TV. You know, and if it's going to be the start with the tag team titles and maybe move him up towards the Intercontinental Championship, then why not? Why not? Keep the heat on. Keep that heat going for him. It's good to see. It's refreshing. You know, I came across a video of an interview that was being done. It was a podcast that I listened to, and they were talking about, you know, the ruthless aggression era, where they pretty much, you know, they didn't have The Rock, Stone Cold. It was pretty much the beginning of the ruthless aggression, to where they pretty much said, we're going to take a couple superstars, throw things against the wall, and see if it sticks. And that's where JBL came along. That's where Batista, John Cena, and all these guys that went on to become first ballot Hall of Famers. You know, I would like to see them do that again. I'm in agreement to what was said on this podcast of I would like to see them do that again. Pick some superstars and build stories with them and throw it, because at some point, it's going to get to the point where fans are really going to start complaining about, you know, a Seth Rollins or a Cody Rhodes or a lot of these stars that continuously keep winning world titles. They're going to get sick of seeing it. And then that decision is going to be made of, do I want to go to the show? Do I not? You know, do I want to fork out the money? Because basically going to a WWE show nowadays is basically going on a one-day vacation. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that's about right.
My sister came to me the other day and she said, my nephew wants to go to a WWE event with me in the future. And I said, if you have $1,500 per ticket, by all means, let's do it. You know, but I ain't got that type of money right now. Nope. So, last thing we'll talk about, Becky Lynch, Maxine Dupree, the first match to kick off Monday Night Raw tonight. Here's the thing, Cam.
Uh-oh.
Me and you had a little bit of a difference with this match. I had said that one thing to do was to shock people and have them do some type of, you know, surprise win with Maxine. Shock the shit out of people. Because it's unbelievable of Maxine defeating Becky Lynch. Yeah. Right? Very unbelievable. But shock the shit out of some people. Have her win. Now, I've been following Maxine Dupree on social media. I've been seeing the work that she's been putting into becoming a full-time in-ring competitor, and she's doing a very amazing job at doing so. Going to the Heart Dungeon and practicing and getting the work in and everything like that. Do I think she deserves some type of like push towards anything right now? No, she's still got to build things up. But to get a big win over Becky Lynch on Monday Night Raw that would shock the shit out of people, I don't know. I feel like it could have been a nice little Kickstarter to tonight, because they didn't initially start the night off really good with Bronson Reed and Roman Reigns. Okay. Then we get into the match, and Becky Lynch, halfway through the match, gets in Jessica Carr, the referee's face, because she thought that she beat Maxine with a couple moves and everything like that, and tried to bully Jessica Carr. It gets to the point of the match where they go on the outside. The 10 count happens. Becky's outside. She's pretty much trying to show off because she's beaten down Maxine, but you see Maxine in the background crawling back into the ring. And once Maxine was back in the ring at the 7 count, Jessica Carr goes 8, 9, 10. That's it. You're done. Maxine wins. Me, I was for it. I was for the win, because you don't bully a referee. That's just the thing that apparently you don't do, and I heard that you don't do, but Becky did it. but it didn't seem to get the pop that I expected. I expected the place to go nuts, and it didn't. So it was a fail in a sense. So what's your thoughts on this, and how do you feel about Maxine actually winning this match the way that she did tonight?
I mean, it's better than a roll-up. I'll say that.
I did initially say it would be good for like a surprise roll-up. Just to be clear on that, just because I know I didn't say that, I did throw out the idea of a surprise roll-up. So sorry.
They go to the well too many times with roll-ups, and you know how I feel about that. So
You hate roll-ups.
don't get me started. But at least it wasn't that, okay? Because that's what I had pictured how this match was going to end. So they got a little creative. I can appreciate that. I can even appreciate. I can't take anything away from the work she's done, you know, with the Heart Dungeon and things like that, and trying to get better. Good for her, right? Oh, you know, more power to her. Just trying to get better, trying to, you know, prove herself and whatnot. That's great. That's fantastic. Now, I truthfully believe that you cannot possibly make me a Maxine fan. It's just impossible. The ship has long sailed. I just don't think I'll ever be a Maxine fan. That's just me. She is on par with being the same as Nikki Bella, and you know how I feel about Nikki Bella. And I thought about that too. I mean, if they were to ever get the idea to put Nikki Bella against Maxine, that would be like oh man, that you would see the biggest rant from me on this show that you've ever seen if that ever happens. Please God, no. Okay, no, absolutely not. But anyways, I mean, this was I mean, realistically, let me say some nice things. This was Maxine's best match, and that I think that says a lot. If she can do that against somebody who I think is doing fantastic work, even over Stephanie Vicaire, I think she's doing fantastic work. And Becky Lynch, this has been a huge year for Becky Lynch in 2025 with her current heel run. And not only that, but right now I think Becky Lynch is being very non-selfish, which is great for the sake of the women's division and building up new people and building up more people that have not gotten the same opportunities as she has. Because she's realistically lost quite a bit with losing in Indy and then losing tonight. So she's on a bit of a losing streak, but it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing because she's putting over returning stars like AJ Lee. She's putting over people like she even put over Natalia Neidhart, who is hardly ever on the program. She's doing fantastic work in the Indies. She has done virtually nothing on WWE TV in 2025. So she even put her over, even without her winning. She put her over, and now she has put over Maxine. So that's great. I mean, she's giving back to the division. So I can't sit here and hate on that for any reason. I don't know where they go with this. I pray this does not result in Maxine winning the Intercontinental Championship, because I think that's not the far-fetched thing. That's not the move at all. Like you keep Lyra out of the title picture to put the title on Maxine. No. So like I said, those are the good things there. It's just me personally, like I said, I am not a Maxine fan, and I don't think I ever will be. So yeah.
The only way I could see them doing that, making that work, is continue to build Lyra's aggressive side and get it to the max of what it needs to be at, this aggressive side that we've seen tonight. If they build this up and make it a full-fledged thing to where it just automatically would turn her into a heel or somebody that just is done taking shit, the only way I would see Maxine becoming Intercontinental Champion is if she quickly drops it. And I mean, let's say she works up to the fact that she faces Becky Lynch, right? I'm kind of reaching a little bit on this when I say this, but let's say that we get all the way up to, Money in the Bank. Just throwing this out there. We get up to Money in the Bank. Now, with the Money in the Bank briefcase, you can challenge for any championship. Doesn't need to be a world title anymore. You can challenge for any championship. So let's say Maxine has a hell of a rest of 2025, has a really big beginning to 2026, to the point where she gets into the women's or scratch that. Let's say Maxine has a great build up for the rest of 2025, builds up really good to the rest through the first end of 2026. And then we get to, let's say, Money in the Bank, and Maxine gets a shot at the Intercontinental title. Let's say Becky's still the champion, because this is the only way I see this working right now. Maxine gets a shot. She wins the Intercontinental title. But earlier in the night, Lyra ends up winning Money in the Bank. And right after Maxine wins the title, Lyra comes in, cashes in, wins the Intercontinental title back. Because she can't go after the title with Becky being champion. That's the only way I see it working right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other situations where they can make it work in storyline. But right now, I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
That makes sense.
I would need time to really think about it. But am I going to spend a lot of time thinking about it? No. Because Maxine's too far away from even going after a championship. Tag team titles, maybe. With Natalya, maybe. But not a singles title. No. And you're right. Natalya is doing great work out in, she goes to the NWA. She goes over to TNA. She goes over to, she hasn't worked in TNA, but she goes to NWA. She goes to GCW. She's doing all this great work outside. Why the fuck are we not getting her doing good work on television where it fully counts? And I'm not the biggest fan of Natalya, but right now I'm kind of pushing for her. Yeah, like I'm kind of pushing for her to get something on TV because she's doing all this other great work.
Yeah.
And how much longer are we going to see Natalya in the ring? So that's it for Monday Night Raw from Dallas, Texas, October 6th, 2025. Let's get into the Crown Jewel predictions. Cam, 5 matches on Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time over on ESPN+. Don't know if I'm going to wake up and watch it. Don't know. I may wait till later. I may sleep in and wait till later. I don't know. My sleep schedule, Cam, these past couple of days have been so fucked. It sucks. You know what time I woke up this afternoon? 1 o'clock.
Jeez.
And I fell asleep at like 2:30, 3 a.m. this morning. Woke up at fucking 1 o'clock today. Sucked. Wasted my whole day. Had a doctor's appointment to go to, and then that was it. That was it. That was my day. Waking up a lot earlier tomorrow, though. I am. I'm going to be up by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. But let's get into it. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky taking on the Kabuki Warriors. This storyline is just getting to the point where it's probably one of the best, if not the best storyline on Monday Night Raw right now. Cam, what do you see coming from this match, and who do you got winning this one?
I got Rhea and Io Sky winning this. I don't think they're gonna have the home country woman of Rhea lose in Perth, honestly. So that aspect of it, I think is kind of obvious. But overall, I think I don't even think I'm not even sure if it's going to be done after this match. That we could see another match from these four down the future. And I would be all for that. Honestly, I have a lot of high hopes for this match. What they've done thus far, as I said earlier, has been nothing short of just great. And like I said, you don't have to do a lot of thinking. You don't have to do just a lot like anything creative or out of the ordinary, I guess. These four women, I think, can be trusted to just do what they do. These are four of the best on the women's roster right now on Raw. So, yeah, I'm expecting this to be fantastic. But I'm going with Team Rhea to pull it out in Perth.
Yeah, I'm going Rhea and Io as well. We might start seeing the cracks in the Kabuki Warriors after this match. We might, like you mentioned about Kairi Sane and Asuka. Kairi might get to that point to where she. Maybe they lose and then she shoves Asuka and walks away. We start seeing the cracks in this tag team. And the other point is Rhea, she very rarely gets an opportunity to wrestle in her home country. I don't see them having Rhea Ripley looking up at the lights that night. So, or that morning, I should say, for us and night for them. So I'm going Rhea and Io as well. Let's go with the women's crown jewel match. Stephanie Vaquer, she is the champion over on Raw. Tiffany Stratton, the champion over on SmackDown. Camp, my first question for you, are you surprised that Tiffany Stratton has been the champion this long over on SmackDown, for one? And number two, what are you seeing in this match? Number three, who do you got in this match?
Yeah, I definitely did not expect Tiffany Stratton to be champion this long. I think it's the right move because you obviously need to have somebody as talented as she is in the run that she has had. You definitely need to have somebody on par, if not better, I think, or better suited, better qualified to then take the reins from Tiffany Stratton and be the new women's champion on SmackDown. That has to happen at the right place, right time, and it has to be the right person. So her holding on to the championship this long until they figure that out and they smooth out those kinks, I think is the right move, honestly. With this particular match, though, this is another match that looks really well in pretty much evenly matched, just in terms of just athleticism. I think from the two of them, I think where Tiffany, I think it might be outmatched is just a pure technical wrestling style of Stephanie Vaquer right now. Because she could out wrestle the best of them. I think she's one of the best technical wrestlers right now in the company. I'm gonna go with Tiffany Stratton. Oh, not Tiffany Stratton. I'm gonna go with Stephanie Vaquer. I honestly think, like I said, right now they are destined to make her the face of the Raw Women's division right now. Tiffany doesn't realistically need it. Tiffany, she's already proven, she's already a star. I don't think this will do anything for her. Stephanie is still on her rise to the top, even with the strap, she's still rising and until they get her to where they ultimately want her, with the ultimate goal with Stephanie Vaquer. So I honestly don't see them losing in this match. So I'm going with Stephanie, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going Stephanie Vaquer as well. Like you said, they're trying to make her the face of the Raw Women's division. I could see that too, see that build up. As far as Tiffany Stratton, I am kind of surprised that they've kept her the champion this long over on SmackDown. I understand she's built herself up to be a star, but I also think her run as a babyface is well overdue. It's like, when does she make that heel turn again? And I would love to see her as a heel champion. Like, if she's going to be champion this long and continue that reign, I want to see her as a heel as well. I want to see what she can do as a heel being champion, because I feel like her run would be a lot more better and more important as a heel and what she traditionally is than to being the babyface champion that she is right now. So, but I'm going Stephanie Vaquer on this one. Let's go with the Australian street fight between Roman Reigns and Bronson Reed, a rematch from 2 PLEs ago. We've seen Bronson Reed take out Roman. Roman comes back, and we're back to basically square one with these two. What do you see in this match, and who do you got?
I got to go with Bronson Reed, even though my gut is telling me Roman Reigns. Just because you got to give him something. And it's got to be something more than what they usually do with him, and that's have him lose, and then he has the post-match attack where he hits like 2 or 3 tsunamis. That's great. That's building him up as a monster. But as you said earlier, they've already accomplished that. They've already established that. How many more times can you drill that into our heads before it's no longer doing anything? It's the I don't know, the effectiveness is wearing off now. So they got to give him a win. They got to give him a big win and one of these PLEs. So just realistically keep him afloat with this group and with Paul Heyman and Seth and Braun Breaker. So I'm gonna go with Bronson Reed.
I would be okay with Bronson winning this match if they had future plans mapped out for him, and I do not feel like they do. Because you wouldn't be going back to the same well 2 months later if you had plans for him. You would already have been progressed with him. You would have already had him moving forward. You would have already had him advancing towards what is next for him. And right now, everything, even being away from Raw for the past 3 weeks and coming back, I feel like they've done zero movement with him. Zero. I feel like they've been at a standstill with him. And it sucks because I like Bronson Reed. I'm a fan of Bronson Reed. I would love to see him get to that next level. I'm going Roman Reigns on this match. I don't feel like right now there's any point to have Bronson Reed come out, destroy Roman again, or even beat him, only to come back on Raw the next day or the next couple weeks and just have Bronson Reed in the same place you've had him. You could keep him in the same place and still have him lose to Roman. So I got to go Roman on this one. John Cena, AJ Styles, the final time these two are going to meet. There's no story build. Like AJ said, this match speaks for itself. The fans know about this. We can go back to 10 years ago when these two first faced off in WWE, the whole beat up John Cena movement for AJ Styles in the summer of 2016. John Cena, AJ Styles, final time. Who do you got on this one?
Well, like I said, they definitely listen to the fans on this one, which is always nice to have that happen, to always be heard and not just kind of just be ignored or be brushed off. Yeah, as you said, this doesn't need a story realistically. This is the final time for both of them. AJ Styles retiring in 2026, and John Cena retiring at the end of 2025. So this is literally the last time we could see two of the more talented or heavy, focused, wrestlers of our time period. And at one point, like I said, 10 years ago, this was a dream match. Now this is something that has turned into a dream storyline for the two of them to have them have more than one match in WWE thus far. This is another match, like I said again, that I think could easily steal the show. For sure, I think they're going to hold no punches in this match, and that's just the respect they have for each other, even as baby faces right now. Man, I don't know. I'm honestly going to go John Cena. He's one match away from breaking that record with 100 wins on PLEs. AJ really, he realistically doesn't need it. He can bounce back. This is still Cena's retirement tour. Realistically, I would think when this is done, AJ continues to feud with Dom. I don't think that's over yet with the whole Intercontinental Championship. And then Cena kind of moves on to the next thing. He right now, I think as we get closer to, December, he's realistically just doing one-offs. I think with some of his, his greatest rivals. So he's really just playing the greatest hits until December. So I'm going AJ Styles, or I'm going John Cena. I'm sorry.
I want to ask you a question. You remember all of John Cena's WrestleMania matches, right? Most, or at least most of them. Out of all his WrestleMania matches, who was his most shocking defeat? Because he's lost at WrestleMania. Who shocked you the most when they beat him?
Shocked me the most?
Mm-hmm.
Probably Undertaker. Because the match was fast. Like that match was quick. I expected them to go a little longer than that. Like it kind of felt like a squash almost of Cena, and that was shocking.
And as the Undertaker's done interviews, he said that's what it was set up to be. The Undertaker trained for a 25-minute, 30-minute marathon, and John pretty much said, like, I was talking all this shit, and you didn't say anything up until the point we got into the ring. It was meant to happen that way. My most shocking one is The Miz. And I'm on The Miz bandwagon of The Miz getting a match with John Cena. And everybody wants to vote for John Cena to take on a newcomer like a Carmelo Hayes or a Braun Breaker, somebody for his last match, Dom Mysterio. I want it to be The Miz. I do. Because right now in big matches, WrestleMania, nonetheless, they are 1-1. John Cena lost to him at WrestleMania 27. John Cena beat him at WrestleMania 33. Big matches. I'm going to see it be The Miz and John Cena in his final match in Boston or wherever the last match is. Or Washington, D.C. That's who I want to see face John, and I want him to beat John Cena in his last match. I do. As far as this match, I'm going John Cena. It's fitting for him to get his 100th PLE win over somebody like an AJ Styles. So I'm going John Cena on this match. Men's crown jewel, Cody Rhodes, the WWE World's Heavyweight Champion. Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion. Cody Rhodes is 3-0 against Seth Rollins in the WWE one-on-one since Cody's been back. Who do you got in this one?
Again, I definitely think that the story that they've built thus far, going back to WrestleMania 40, has been great. Like they honestly have done great stuff. They did a great video package tonight as well.
They did.
I love the backstage segment with Seth and Paul. It really feels like this is just make or break, do or die, win or go home for Seth Rollins. Otherwise, his credibility, everything he's building up with the vision and everything like that, just realistically crumbles right before him. So I have to go Seth. Honestly, there's something, and even with that segment too tonight, tells me that there's something up the sleeve of Paul Heyman. There's something up the sleeve of Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
I don't see Cody losing cleanly to Seth Rollins.
No.
At all. So something's going to happen. Someone is going to help Seth. Something of that nature happens that cost Cody Rhodes this match. I just think Seth needs it more if he wants to keep up this empire, and him saying that he's supposed to be the leader of the future. All that I think will lose like I said, it would just lose its credibility if he loses this match. Cody really realistically doesn't need it, honestly. So I'm going Seth.
I'm with you. Cody doesn't need a win. He doesn't. I'm going Seth Rollins as well. And tonight's backstage segment with Paul Heyman told me everything that I needed to know for Seth Rollins to win on Saturday. And I don't think Seth wins cleanly either. We got to remember Bronson Reed's in a match earlier in the night against Roman. So Bronson's going to be in the building. Now the question is Braun going to be there?
Yeah, because he's not even in the match. Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even see Breakker tonight. We just seen Bronson and Seth. So I agree with you. Seth doesn't win clean, but he wins this match. And Cody doesn't need it. He doesn't need this win. Against Gunther, did he need that win? Yeah. Because Gunther and him have been building ever since he came back at the Royal Rumble after his injury.
Yeah.
That was building. That match was anticipated. This match right here is basically Seth hasn't beaten Cody yet. He pretty much the future in Seth's eyes is on the line. Seth is going to do anything and everything he could to win this match. So I'm going Seth Rollins as well. That's it for Crown Jewel predictions. Catch Crown Jewel on Saturday morning, starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Last segment of the day, Cam, on this day. Oh, wait. No, we got to pick our superstar of the night. That's right. We got to pick our superstar of the night. Summer, knock it. Dog is always barking. Always. So, Cam, Monday Night Raw happening in Dallas tonight. Who's your superstar of the night?
Oh, superstar of the night. I'm going to go. Honestly, I'm going to go Seth Rollins.
Okay.
I think that backstage segment just really sold me on that match. I was already sold, but it sold me even more for him and Cody. I think that was great. And then of course, like I said, the video package that they provided was fantastic. So realistically, this was the bigger. This is the bigger storyline, even over him and Punk right now. So it's really good stuff.
I'm going to pull one completely out of left field because it's something that we really didn't focus on tonight, but I'm going with Jimmy Uso.
Okay.
He didn't have to say anything. All he had to do was do. And that was protect Jay from CM Punk by super kicking him and taking him out.
Yeah.
Jimmy Uso is my superstar of the night. I feel like he made an impact without having to make a big impact. So Jimmy Uso's mine tonight. So last segment on this day, Cam, this one's fitting. Back in 2013, WWE presented the Battleground pay-per-view at the First Niagara Center in Buffalo, New York. The event ended up with the lowest number of pay-per-view buys since 2006, which was ECW's December to Dismember event. And the event highlighted a wonderful tag team match, which placed Dustin and Cody Rhodes defeating the Shield and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to win their reinstatement into WWE. So even back in 2013, Cody Rhodes' career was on the line against the Shield, and he ended up beating Seth Rollins then as well. Kind of fitting.
Yeah.
Especially going into Saturday.
Perfect. Yeah.
For Crown Jewel. So, man. Your favorite wrestler is Jey Uso. That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Let me ask you, who's your favorite female superstar? And thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate you stopping in and checking out the table spot. We were about to get out of here, but seeing your comments said that your favorite is Jey Uso. Who's your favorite female superstar? As we wait for that comment, Cam, I'm going to put the socials up. Everybody can head over to Cam's social medias right now. Check out everything that he is doing over on social media. Cam, what do you want to let the people know?
Well, like I said, my socials are on the bottom, so go check me out on my socials. And of course, go check us out. Well, today, anyways, there is Title Tuesday for Dynamite, but we are still doing Dynamite on Wednesday. So check us out this Wednesday night for AEW Dynamite. We'll be talking about Title Tuesday that is happening tonight. And then, of course, Sunday and Monday of next week for our programming for the Huddle Hub on Sunday morning, and then Monday night for Monday Night Raw on the table spot is kind of up in the air. I'm going to be on a trip to New York City. I'll be coming back either Monday morning or Monday afternoon or Monday night. I'm not sure. So stay tuned for that as we kind of work around that schedule as well. So stay tuned for that. And like I said, we love and appreciate all you guys coming by and checking out the stream tonight.
Make sure you're checking out everything that Cam is doing on social media and beyond here on the networks and every show. Go hit the follow button right now and check out everything Cam's doing, especially Cam's Wrestling Corner. I'm not just saying this because this man is digitally sitting next to me. Those videos are fucking amazing. So go check them out. You can check me out, Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Metal Mike 714. That's where you can find me personally. I do most of my content creating on the shows. I don't really do personal content creating. And you can check out, like Cam said, the Huddle Hub Podcast, twitch.tv/the Huddle Hub Podcast, and youtube.com/@the Huddle Hub Pod. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, myself and John will be live previewing Week 7 of college football, and we will be reviewing Week 6 of the NFL, or Week 5 of the NFL. Week 4. Sorry, we just got through Week 4. This is the mix-up. Is college football is like 10 weeks ahead of the NFL.
Yeah, no,
reviewing
the NFL just got through with Week 5.
Week 4. Is it Week 5?
Pretty sure it's Week 5.
It is Week 5. So we are reviewing Week 5 of the NFL, and we are previewing Week 7 of college football. That's what we will be doing tomorrow night. And then, Cam, like you said, you're on your trip this weekend, so you won't be a part of the Huddle Hub Podcast this weekend. Me and John are going to be going to New Jersey on Sunday. We are leaving fairly early in the morning. I will be live Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So the Huddle Hub at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday, I will be previewing Week 6 of the NFL and reviewing what I can from college football from that day. So do a quick little show, get things in, build in the content. So, but we're going to get out of here, guys. Thank you for joining us here on the table spot. Be good to each other, be kind to each other, take care of each other. Remember, the world is not moving as fast as you think. We'll see you guys next time. Deuces.